So I want to start today's video off with a little bit of a story, okay? The year is 2002. Ken Rockwell is the world's leading authority on digital cameras. And your television screen probably looked a little bit something like this. A guy named Jeff down at the local camera club has made a bold claim. Nothing less than a full frame camera will do him because that is the only sensor size that will give blurry backgrounds. And so, down the line, the myth is spread that smaller sensors are incapable of producing such shallow depth of field. And here we are, 22 years later, micro four thirds, you can't get a blurry background. Only you can, because this has been recorded on an Olympus EM1 Mark II with a 25mm f1.8 lens. Let's go take a bunch of blurry background photos with it. So I will concede that during Jeff's day, he probably did have a little bit of a point, but then again, he didn't have the Olympus EM1 Mark II and the 25mm f1.8, did he? We do these days, and I think times have moved on since the days of that myth. I think the micro four thirds stuff it's really come on a long way in the last 10 years, and that's what I'll go out and do tonight. I just want to show that you can actually get some nice blurry backgrounds and some background separation, even with such a small sensor. Now, before we get into the video full on, I just want to explain a little bit about physics and camera lenses and depth of field and all of that jazz. Now, f1.8 is f1.8, it doesn't matter what lens it is physically f1.8. And the amount of background blur you get from an f1 lens doesn't really matter what system it's been used on, because the amount of background blur is exactly the same. It's just physics. When you're shooting with a smaller sensor than full frame, what you're seeing is the crop factor, and that is essentially all you are seeing is a cropped in version of that image. I don't know why this myth about background blur exists anymore. You can get perfectly reasonable photographs using a camera like this. So let's take it off the clip and go take some photos. Oh man, I knew it was a silly idea coming here tonight. So I'm just trying to take a photograph of a little flower, and I am meals on wheels for all of the little mosquitoes that are buzzing around me. Right now, oh God, my hands are covered in welts already. I think we're going to run and gun a lap around these woods. I discovered that if I stop, they swarm me. If I don't, yeah, leave me alone. Well, hopefully I've just shown you a few little photographs there taken at f1.8 aperture priority mode on this Olympus EM1 Mark II. And there's plenty of background blur there, isn't there? Absolutely plenty enough. I don't really understand how much more blurry people need their backgrounds, but this camera and this setup work fine for me. So just let me, yeah, there we go. There's another mosquito gone. Right, there's a branch, there's a tree, there's a trunk. There's loads of bits of protrusions coming off it. I wonder if we can't find something here to take a photograph. Let's have a look. Not that. I don't know, I found something. There we go. Hopefully that works out all right. Oh, right. So I found a leaf here with some water droplets on it, and let's see if we can do something with it. There we go. I think that worked. Let's have a look through the viewfinder. Why are you doing that? Oh my God, I'm getting eaten. Right, let's walk and look through the viewfinder. Move, move, thank you. Oh my God. Mosquitoes are fun, aren't they? They're really fun. Right, quick look through the viewfinder, quick. Was it in focus? Why is it not working? Yeah, it seems to be. I'll try and do something with that. Right, so when it comes to trying to get blurry backgrounds on a camera of any size sensor, what is the best way of doing it then? Obviously, a big fast aperture like f1.8 on this lens. And I also find getting nice and close to the subject and giving yourself a very distant bit of, background and good separation between them, that kind of works best for me. Oh look, another little yellow flower. Oh God, no, I can't go down there. I can see them near my face. Oh, I'm gonna look like a polka dot sheep when I get home. I'm going to run it through here and I'll show you the back of my hand already. It's been some time since I've been to these woods and I kind of forgot just how, well, mosquito infested they can be at this time of year. Let's have a look. There we go. Yay me, I'm just winning at life. So I've come across this bench and it's in quite a cute little scene. There's some ferns around it and there's a couple of trees. Now I'm wondering if we can't shoot through this fern here, frame it a little bit, focus right on the edge of that and just give the photograph a little bit of depth, a little bit of background and foreground separation. So let's have a look, let's move into position and see if we can't shoot through these ferns and create an artistic little photograph. Yeah, shift around. So let's have a look. Let's turn the camera on first, that's a good idea. So I'm going a bit further around. If I focus right on that edge of there, let's throw a tree on there, there's some fern covering it. Shoot right through it. Here's that photograph. Well, it's just started raining and I've come across, looks like an old tree stump from a tree that was obviously growing in the middle of this track. And I think that'll make a fun little low-level subject. Let me move around so you're not in the photo. Get nice and low to the floor. Focus on there like that. Let's create some sort of composition with the threads. And there we go. Just a silly little photograph of an old tree stump on this trail floor. So just in front of me here is a young sapling that's bent and twisted around, and I thought it might make for a fun subject for a photograph. Now, there is no real way of getting close to this tree in order to get this photograph, and the background is quite a ways away, so there will be some separation there anyway. But this leads me on to think is, how much background separation do you really need? Now, I think I'm going to get enough here to be able to make this subject pop off the background, but not enough whereas the background becomes a complete mess and you can't really figure out what's going on. So let's shoot this vertically. Let me turn the hat around. I'm still at f1.8 and I'm still in aperture priority mode, so I'm going to focus right on the very tip of this young sapling, and I'm just going to have it snaking through the frame using some sort of thread ruling with the colours here. And I think there is enough background separation there to work out what the subject is and work out what the background is going on, but a little bit of blur between the two of them. So this walk around the murder-fly infested woods has got the brain thinking just a little tiny bit. Now, shooting at wide apertures isn't something I typically tend to do. I'm more of an f5.6 to sort of f11 kind of guy, so I've never really been able to understand the fascination with blurry backgrounds and background separation and everything like that. It's just not part of the thing that I do. I think tonight is the first night that I've probably come out and shot specifically as wide as this in quite some time, but it's been quite fun seeing through the EVF all of the different blurriness and the background separation and everything. It's made quite a nice change tonight. It may be something that I'm going to be tempted to do a little bit more often. But there's another way of getting a blurry background in a photograph, and you don't need a lens like this. Let me show you what I mean, and we'll try and take an example photograph with the technique that I've got in mind. There you are, my Plastic Fantastic 40 to 150, f5.6 with the 150 length. Let's take a blurry background photo with it. So this area that I'm in is absolutely full of all these green fern fronds, and I thought, mosquito, it may make for a really fun little thing to do, is just to throw this lens on at 150mm, 300mm full frame equivalent, f5.6, not typically an aperture you would associate with blurry backgrounds, and let's just take a photograph with it and see what happens. It's starting to get a bit wet. So something that's been proving a little bit difficult to do is to find a fern frond that's not backgrounded with green. You know, I'm trying to find something brown like this tree just to give the background, just to give it a little bit of a different shade, you know, so it just pops off in terms of colour just a little bit. And I think I may have found one. I'm going to focus on it. Where is it? We're a bit close actually. Let's move back a little ways. There we go. So the fern is quite light green, the background is quite dark green. And there's some background separation there. So here's the photograph. So thank you very much for watching tonight's video around me trying to prove that it is entirely possible to get photographs with blurry backgrounds using a micro four thirds camera. In fact, initial impressions on the back of the camera suggest that a lens like this may actually work better than the fast aperture. All of the last couple of photographs that I showed you, they were all taken with this lens, 300mm full frame equivalent at f5.6, and the backgrounds, they are plenty blurry enough for me. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like and a thumbs up, because it does help the video and it brings new viewers to see my content. And if you liked it more than that, there's a subscribe button below me. You can press that and you'll see more nonsense from me and my micro four thirds camera every single week. So until the next time, I'm going to love you and leave you and say peace and goodbye. Oh, the mosquito run now.